Welcome to Torah Smash, the podcast for nerdy Jews, where our lives of Jewish learning collide with our love of nerd culture. In each episode, we discuss what we lovingly call a Torah Smash, which we have defined as a beautiful collision of one thing from the world of Judaism with another from nerd culture. I am Ethan Lane Miller, and joining me today are
Barak Malkin,
RDY with an asterisk.
Rabbi Emma Gottlieb.
Woo!
Hey, welcome back.
Thank you.
Our guest for today's episode is Rabbi Emma Gottlieb. Emma is Canadian-born from Toronto, Ontario, and is currently serving as the rabbi at Shalom in Ontario after returning from Cape Town, where she was the first woman rabbi to serve in a congregation there. As the daughter of a rabbi, she grew up nerding out about all things Reform Judaism. As a rabbi, she especially loves to talk theology, ritual, and Torah. When she's not immersed in rabbinic work, she is nerding out on all things Star Wars and Marvel and is a big lover of Lego. These days, she's especially into the Lego floral arrangements and watching Lego Masters. Welcome, Emma.
welcome.
Welcome.
I love those floral arrangements. You're doing some really cool ones. It's crazy.
It is a staple of my home decor situation.
It would be a good way for me to not kill flowers.
Yes.
It's very calming. It's a very calming activity. And I discovered when I was packing my home in Cape Town to move back to Canada that it is almost as satisfying to take apart Lego and like pack it up by color and size in like labeled Ziploc bags is almost as satisfying as putting it together. And then I got to put it all back together.
That's way easier to travel with a Lego plant than it is with a real plant.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also love them because I have a pollen allergy. So like floral Lego arrangements are perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They're great for also if you have pets that shouldn't be eating your plants.
Pets shouldn't be eating your Legos either.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yes. I guess there are some pets who might try to do that. Don't get floral Lego if you have dogs who like to chew Lego.
Isn't floral Lego the practice of like reading one verse and like going back?
That's a terrible rabbi joke.
It's Florilegio, folks.
Go look it up for Jason. All right. So
Yeah.
Welcome. Welcome back. You get to take it away.
amazing. All right. Well, I've been thinking a lot lately about the idea of what it means to accompany as a rabbi and a human being, what it means to accompany other people. And the text that I keep coming back to when I'm thinking about this idea of accompaniment is Psalm 23, which most people will recognize. The eternal is my shepherd, I shall not want text. And specifically the line about walking through the valley of the shadow of death and not having fear because of the knowledge that you're not alone. So I find this is a text, that I find powerful, that I find lots of people, Jewish and not, find powerful. It's everybody's favorite thing to read along with at a funeral. And I thought we might smash it up in the Torah Smash way. So that's where we're going to start, is with Psalm 23. And I don't know, like, if you guys have memories of Psalm 23, like places where it's shown up in your lives.
Funerals?
Funerals, yeah.
Every funeral?
Every single funeral, yeah.
My dad had a poster in his office. He used to collect these like funny little 8x11 posters from the copier. So this was back in the 80s when you had to like go to a place and make copies instead of just digitally sending stuff to people. And he had one up for years that said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil because I'm the meanest son of a gun in the valley."
That's fun.
It's a good one.
That's a nice twist.
Yeah. It always keeps me from crying too hard when they're saying Psalm 23 is thinking of that.
Totally. That kind of leads right into where we're going. So curious if you guys have any guesses as to what nerdy little piece of culture might connect to Psalm 23.
Not the right guess, but the newest Superman movie.
Oh,
Dealt with
yeah.
sort of like he was on the verge of death and his parents' death that he was sort of working through. Yeah, so I'm gonna throw that out there.
yeah. It's not the right guess, but
Right.
it's interesting.
I happen to, so the way we record our topics is we usually record half of the topic on our little spreadsheet, and the half that was recorded was the Thunderbolts half. So I'm guessing that you want to smash this with Thunderbolts.
Is RDY asterisk correct?
That's why I said RDY asterisk, is because I thought you were going to start with it.
Oh, sorry. I flipped it. We can start all over again if that's
No.
better.
No. This is
No.
fine.
We're
But
committed.
yes,
It's just my fault because I read the wrong half.
or because anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, you are correct, RDY.
Yay.
Thunderbolts.
I read ahead.
Thunderbolts is where we're going, and I don't know if all of you have seen it, or if you can share why it might be Thunderbolts. Like, what part of Thunderbolts is the connect?
I did see it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was the first Marvel movie that I had enjoyed in a fair amount of time when it had come out.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I enjoyed the ensemble cast that was in this one. I thought they all played really nicely off of each other. It was very reminiscent of the first Avengers.
Yeah.
So I thoroughly liked it. And you said I like the shadow of death theme comes into me with sort of Bob's shadow of death that is immersing the city.
The void.
Yeah.
And also that Bob was presumed dead. He was in basically a coffin at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, that's also true, right? He sort of goes through a resurrection kind of moment. But yeah, Barack, you're right on track. So for anyone who doesn't know the premise or part of the premise, we won't tell you the whole, plot of the movie, but the bad guy figure is this guy, the Void, who, when he's not the Void, is a much nicer guy named Bob. And the Void comes out in reaction to a person's fears and regrets, basically. And he sort of, his superpower is seeing other people's fears and regrets, like seeing the worst moment of their life or the thing that they most regret about their life. And that's sort of the power that he feeds off of. And the way that he's defeated is through love and through togetherness and holding on to one another and this idea of accompanying one another through the hard things, which is kind of what Psalm 23 is all about. So that's what we're smashing up today. Yeah. I think, Barack, I also thought, that it was a great sort of return to all things that are great, excellent about Marvel. But what I loved about Thunderbolts was this really universal, super powerful theme of how we defeat the darkness, because it feels like there's a lot of people who are struggling right now and who are really feeling heavy about the world and all of the different things that are going on. Feels like there's extra darkness right now. And so this movie just felt really timely in that way, that Marvel was trying to say something to us about how to face the darkness of the world that's a little bit different than their usual, we defeat darkness by smashing it. This was actually the opposite. They couldn't smash it. They had to kind of hug it out instead, which is kind of cool. So I brought some questions and we can just kind of talk about it, I guess, if that's good for you guys.
Great.
Yeah. So the first thing was sort of, when I first started thinking about this theme and this topic in this movie, I was thinking, that this is sort of the, like, you are not alone kind of message, right? And then I was thinking about aloneness and solitude and isolation and sort of, so the first thing I thought we could kind of tease out is, what is the difference between those things? And are some of those things better or worse than others? Like, are there ways in which Judaism values aloneness or not aloneness? Yeah, so I thought we could just start there and kind of tease out this idea of pros and cons of being alone.
I think there's a big difference between being alone and being lonely.
Yeah, say more about that.
Well, we can choose to be alone for reasons that are our own. Like, My daughter, for example, gets to a point in the day where she's had enough of people. And she decides to go into a room and shut the door and turn on music and sometimes call her boyfriend and just be by herself. But she's not lonely. And there are times when I'm in a room full of people and feeling kind of lonely because I don't know any of them. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to talk about sports. And so whatever it is that people are doing in this room, I'm just kind of sitting with my hands stuffed in my pockets.
Yeah. Right. So sometimes we choose to be alone and it's not a bad thing. And then other times we might find ourselves alone when we don't want to be.
Yeah,
Um, and those are two really different experiences of aloneness. And I like that differentiation between being alone and being lonely. Sometimes you can be in a room full of people and be lonely also. Like
for
you don't
sure.
have to be alone to be lonely.
For sure.
So
Some,
I
sometimes the wait staff and bartenders are victims of my loneliness when I
Yeah.
try to keep them at the table for a little longer when I'm eating by myself.
Don't leave me.
so I actually think of, thinking of a Jewish topic. I think of Shmirah.
Hmm. What
So
is Shmira for the Jasons in the room?
thank you, Rabbi. Shmirah is the custom of watching over a body after they have passed.
Mm,
So between when they have passed and the burial.
yeah. Shmira from the word shomer, right? To guard, to watch over. And absolutely, right? Like talk about the ultimate kind of accompaniment, right? The accompanying. Often when we talk about the mitzvot that we do for somebody who's passed away, we talk about that they're such high mitzvot because they can't be repaid, right? That's a kind of accompaniment that you do without expectation of return. It's really powerful. So absolutely.
What's
So
fascinating about that is it's done in part because of the superstition that we don't want the body to be alone.
right.
Like we're concerned about the feelings of a dead body, which I,
Yeah.
which I love.
Yeah, that we have so much concern for one another that even when we're gone, we're worried about each other
Yeah.
is a beautiful idea. Definitely.
Another Jewish piece that comes to mind about not being alone would be Minyan for me.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
one I had down. Yeah, so say more about that.
Yeah,
What is
so in Jewish culture, a minyan is a a quorum, a gathering that's required to say certain prayers or blessings or celebrate or to do certain things together. The qualifications may differ based on how you practice Judaism, but mostly it is just you're not alone in order to do these certain things. Some of them are
mm,
happy, some of them are harder, some of them are just appreciative and to make sure that other people are aware of these things. But the idea that Judaism doesn't happen by yourself.
right.
I think it's okay to say it in an egalitarian way that you need the presence of 10.
Great.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, with Judaism, we don't do Judaism alone, especially the hard things, right? Where you need a minion to say Kaddish, you need a minion to bury the dead, to comfort the mourner.
Well, I like how in the Thunderbolts, aside from the this group needed to come together for doing these things, but the name comes from another gathered group, right? Because it comes from her soccer team. And so
Yeah,
it's not just like the group of people that they're inspired by is a group of people who are supporting each other. And that became their name.
right. This idea of team and community and the things that, you
Right.
just do better together than by yourself.
Yeah, I think if I remember, there was a dialogue between the Red Guardian and Yelena saying that she was always the goalie
Right.
because she could be there to help her teammates if they made any mistakes.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
I also especially like the fact that for this particular movie and this particular superhero team, they are at about the skill level of a young girl's soccer team.
Right. In all things. They are definitely junior
Very funny.
level right. Well, at the end we're going to talk about the tagline of the movie, so I'll pin it for a second, but yeah, they're not great at, the things that we expect the heroes to be great at. It is one of the sort of twists, but what they're great at is being together. Like they are so much stronger together than they are individually. Individually, they're each kind of a hot mess, but together they kind of work. Yeah.
As illustrated by the scene where they're climbing up the tube. Absolutely impossible to do on their own. Needs four of them coordinated together,
Right.
butts to butts, and
But yeah,
yeah,
until one doesn't hold
until
up
one
their
doesn't. But right at the very end
yeah.
or very beginning, very top.
Yeah, very top. It's cool. It's cool. There's a lot of really amazing examples of togetherness and teamwork in this movie for sure. So, okay, so we talked about Shemira, we talked about Minyan. Are there any other sort of Jewish models that we can think of that sort of counter the idea of aloneness?
Shabbat candles.
Oh, say more about that.
Shabbat candles are paired, and there is a custom of having one Shabbat candle when you are an unmarried person living by yourself. But not many people still do that I'm aware of. But the Shabbat candle is always paired because one represents the Jewish people and one represents God. So there's a constant partnership. And in that sense, if you are a person who believes in God, you're never alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, in that same vein, we could say then the challah braids.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
nice then.
I do not know the reasons for the three, but they are together.
Weaving together the holy with the mundane.
Yeah, and the Havdalah candle also, right? Braided.
Same reason, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, now on Havdalah often we talk about like when the fire of one strand isn't as strong, right, as the multiple wicks, you get a brighter flame.
I'm sorry. Are those gummy bear earrings?
They are.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Gummy bears come in packages.
Gummy bears can never be alone.
Yeah.
They come in packages.
Yeah.
Did I steal yours, Barack?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry.
To make it clear, I was asking about Barack's gummy bear earrings.
Yeah.
They do look really good with your eyes, Barack.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're stunning. So the other thing that I thought about when I was thinking about Jewish responses to aloneness, and partly in bringing Psalm 23, is the Psalms as a whole, as a type of Jewish literature, right, are in many ways designed to bring us comfort in difficult times or in times where we feel alone. That so many of the Psalms sort of speak to the human experience of sort of being in the dark, right? And finding our way back out of the dark and out of the dark places. And as a body of literature, it's one that we sort of turn to in these times. Psalm 23 is only one of many Psalms that kind of bring these comforting ideas. A lot of people also know Psalm 121, right? I lift up my eyes to the mountains. From where does my help come? My help comes from God. And also one of the things that I was thinking about and that I wanted to ask you guys about is this idea that's in the Psalms that we're not alone because God is with us. But I wondered if there are other ways to understand some of these verses when we talk about, I shall have no fear because you are with me. Is the you always God? Does it have to be?
I think so.
When I was younger, I don't think I took that as God. I think I took that as, family, community. That's a great question. But looking back, I remember not thinking the you was God. I remember thinking, because we always said it in temple together. And so it felt like it was a community prayer. Yeah.
That's neat. I mean, if you think through the psalm, it actually changes person twice. The beginning of the psalm is third person, the middle of the psalm is second person, and the end of the psalm goes back to third person. So it's this, when God is my shepherd, I lack nothing, and then God makes me lie down in green pastures. I'm thinking of God in third person, renews my life, guide me in right paths. And then when we're in that Gates Almavet, the valley of deepest darkness, the valley of the shadow of death, however we want to translate it, at that moment where we need God at the most, God, we change it to second person. We're like, I'm really scared. I need you with me. Like things are wonderful. God's over there. God's great, but it's God, to me, God's pronoun is God. So, we're thinking of God in third person because everything's okay, hunky dory. But then in darkness, I need you.
Mm.
And then when things become okay again at the end, okay, now that you are spreading a table, you are anointing my head with oil, I'm feeling better now. So goodness and mercy are going to follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in God's house again, third person
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, I love that, that I need you, like you specifically, like not just anybody, but you.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about the Thunderbolts and the way that, part of how they defeat the darkness of the void,
Hmm.
is that each of them has to reckon with their own darkness. And the uniqueness of each of the members of the team and the specific stories and overcoming of each of the members of the team is part of how they defeat, that it's not just a random collection of people supporting each other. They're each coming from a particular experience that makes them them, that makes you you, right? And it's the you that I need is the real, the experienced, the person who has been through hardship and can sit in darkness with me because they've also been in darkness.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
like your uniqueness that can help us through this
right,
situation, and I don't want anyone else.
right. And, often when we're going through a hard time, there are lots of people who might try to offer comfort, but if it isn't coming from that place of authenticity or experience, then it comes off kind of phony or ingenuine, right? And it doesn't really bring us that comfort. But when somebody is coming from a place of, I've been there, or I've also been through something hard, and I feel where you are, that often reaches us in a way that those more sort of shallow offerings don't hit in the same way. Ethan, you said you thought that the you does have to be God. I was curious to hear more about that.
Actually, I said it didn't have to be.
Oh, it didn't have to be. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm curious to hear more about that.
Um, I think the you could be anyone that you feel a connection with.
Mm.
So it can't, I suppose it could be random person off the street, but I think the you depends on the person and depends on the situation. But I think that it doesn't have to be God.
Mm.
It can be a community, it can be a friend.
I'm thinking about that really well-known piece by Larry Kushner about the jigsaw puzzles. Each life is a piece of a jigsaw puzzle, right? And that we sort of go through life carrying a piece that isn't our piece. And somewhere along the line, we find the person that it's meant for and we offer it. And sometimes we know, and sometimes we don't know. And then he ends that piece by saying, when we offer our piece to the person who needs it, it's a gift from the Most High,
Mm.
That's
right?
beautiful.
That's nice.
That it could also be that the you is both, right? That there is a human you who is the person or the people or the community that shows up for us when we're in our worst moments, whoever the you is that gets us through. But part of what we learn as Jews is that we are agents of the divine,
As agents,
not Marvel agents, but agents of the divine, right? And that we partner with God by doing God's work in the world. And sometimes that's showing up for one another.
I love that. I think also of like a more secular example are those things like something happens or you find something or take a picture of something and you have to send it to that one person. Like there's no one else who's gonna get this quite the way, you will when I want to share this thing, this joke or beautiful moment or whatever it is. And the converse to that is when you're in multiple groups with a person and they send the same joke to both groups, and you're like, well, that's not special. I
Mhm.
saw it before.
Yeah, definitely. There's always those moments that are meant for somebody one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I said that we were going to talk about the tagline of the movie. There were a few taglines, but the one that I'm thinking about is not super, not heroes, not giving up. One of the things that's unique about this movie that we sort of talked about a little bit is, these are not our traditional superheroes, right? This is not Thor and Iron Man, who are indestructible and swoop in and save the day. This is like a ragtag bunch of people who shouldn't be amazing at saving the world, but they do. And they do it by not giving up, and by not giving up on themselves and by not giving up on each other. And by this recognition that the only way to defeat the darkness is to go into the darkness, right? Yelena goes in, into the darkness of the void to help bring Bob out. And then the other members of the team have to go in with her. And it's really only together when they go into the darkness and they confront their own darkness that they're able to come out together. And that feels like such a powerful and important message for us today, that we're living in these times that feel dark, and there don't seem to be a lot of superheroes out there right now in the political landscape and the global landscape. It's like who are the heroes? And maybe we are, right? Maybe we're not super and we're not heroes and we're not giving up, right? And
I love that, especially with the framing that you've given it. Like, most of our leaders right now are choosing the path of the villain, and it doesn't matter what side of the spectrum we fall on. There is something bad that all of our leaders are doing, and those of us who find ourselves in the middle more often than not can really see it from both sides, that we really want people to just choose better.
yeah,
And it's really hard to not give up, but I refuse to personally.
I think you said something that made me realize one of the reasons why I probably really like this team. I'm a big Don Quixote fan, and these aren't kick-sided characters by any means. Like, they know who they are, but what is really lovely about them is that they continue to push through, right? The not giving up piece, I think, is that element of they have that want for goodness, and all of them are sort of reformed villains in their own way that which is something we talked about on the last episode. This for people looking for other examples of bad people turn good for the long term. I think these members of the Thunderbolts are prime examples of that, of Yelena and Winter Soldier and Red Guardian and Ghost and all these people who were bad and turned good. But this idea that the love that they have for humanity because of the shift that they've had is really the thing that elevates them as a team. And I love that as a concept, right? Not super. It's not their strength that's doing it, not heroes, not the fact that everybody looks up to them, but it's because they don't give up and because they want a world to be a better place. I love that.
yeah. And I think we are living in a time where we're going to have to kind of link arms and go into the darkness together and face it and grassroots it and kind of go to ground and rebuild. And this is a nice model for us, right? That we don't have to have whatever credentials we think we need for the work ahead. We just have to be willing to go into it and go into it together.
I that all feels really good. I definitely felt a bit of like RDY of like it's felt like there hasn't been a leader really standing up to meet the moment, and I think you're right, Emma, that like it's each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can't wait, right? We can't just watch the world like crumble and wait for somebody to show up. And I think that's part of what happens in this movie, right? That the heroes are gone, right? The Avengers are gone. They're not gonna come at the last minute, when the world starts literally going dark, right? The Avengers are not gonna swoop in. It has to be the people who are already there who rise to the occasion.
This might be like taking the wheel a little bit out of the way you were intended, but I'm thinking that, this episode comes out during Sukkot.
Mm.
And on Sukkot, we think about the flimsiness of the structures we build and how like temporary really everything we build in this world is flimsy. Nothing will withstand the test of time eventually. And the exception to that is the relationships. And so we invite people in to our sukkah, both the real and imaginary. We invite our loved ones to come and share a meal, and we invite the ushpizin, the honored guests from our ancient past, to come and symbolically visit us. The ushpizin are like our ancestors: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Bilhah, Zilpah, etc. And these are the people that we want with us because of what they represent to us. So I'm wondering, and again, forgive me if I'm taking the wheel too much on this, but like, what heroes or anti-heroes would y'all want in your Sukkot?
Oh, I love that.
Well, that who's invited to your sukkah conversation?
Yeah, who's invited to your Sukkah? Maybe especially from the Thunderbolts. Like, which one Thunderbolt would you want?
Oh God, Red Guardian.
Me too.
All day.
Me too.
If you're gonna narrow it to that team.
Except he's gonna like stumble into the walls and knock your whole sukkah down.
But it would be such a good time. The thing is that he's bringing all of the joy and love into the sukkah, and that's what you want.
Yeah, no, he brings the party. I mean, I feel like I have to say Bucky Barnes.
Bucky's a good choice too.
I think there's something about having somebody in the mix who has some wisdom to share. And that is also like a key piece of this team, is that they have somebody saying to them, I've been where you are, and I have also felt irredeemable and have been redeemed. And the Psalms say that to us. And yeah, I think the comfort of having that kind of wisdom in the sukkah would feel good.
That's nice.
Wait, Ethan, who would you bring? Did you name one?
I agree to be Red Guardian.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be fun both to have Red Guardian and to have David Harbour. I think it would be equally fun.
Now, if we're expanding it beyond the Thunderbolts, then that's harder.
That's really hard. That does get really hard.
Actually, it's not that hard. There's some options coming in right now.
Thor. I think I'd do Thor if I had to expand it. If we're just staying in Marvel, like another. I want the celebratory king. Yeah.
Throwing smashing the wine goblet on the ground.
Yeah.
Or coffee mug or whatever.
The sukkah better be super strong.
Yeah, I'm bringing all the. Yeah.
I think I want to hang out with Steve Rogers.
Oh.
I think I would want Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, I think I probably want like some of the witchy characters that we've been
like Agatha?
Yeah, like Agatha would be great. Or like that whole group would be a lot of fun. I want them to come sing in my sukkah. Like
I want the neighbor. Was her Mrs. Hart?
Yes.
Yes. She would bring like baked goods. So
yeah.
I mean, what about Rabbi Alex Shuval Weiner? Does she count?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we have to give her a tip of the hat. All right. Yeah. So I mean that was kind of my closing thoughts were sort of about this idea of the not super, not hero, not giving up. But I love bringing Sukkot into it also. And these different times of year where even Sukkot is a time where we fight aloneness by coming together into this space.
For sure.
And I guess a good invitation to each of us as we're dwelling in our Sukkot to think about, who maybe is outside the sukkah, who needs to be invited in. Who can we sit with? Who needs us to sit in the dark with them and help bring them out? And maybe it starts by just inviting somebody to come over for a meal in your sukkah. It could be that simple.
Love it.
Yeah, that's a nice surprise. I'm glad RDY caught the Sukkot thing. That's a nice surprise smash.
Yeah, I love it.
Can I ask, did anybody have any favorite parts of the Thunderbolts movie?
Ooh, I have to think about the fun, but I've been thinking about all the heavy parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Now I have to go back and think about the fun parts.
I loved the Red Guardian gave the typical Captain America speech. Like every Avengers movie, you get the Captain America speech, and everyone's like, yeah. And at the end of the Red Guardian speech, you've got Yelena just going, yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, I like the end where
Valentina?
Yeah, with Valentina, where Yelena says to Valentina, "We own you now." I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of a hardcore moment. And it's like, oh, what's coming next?
Man, I think all of the best parts I'm thinking of had Red Guardian in it. Like him always wanting to make Thunderbolts happen as the name, the like constant cheering, like we're a team. We're like when they're all cuffed up with Bucky. Yeah, I like that. I will say the one thing that threw me was at the very end, they all come out of the void, they step through the thing, and there's a press release ready. That felt sudden. Felt very sudden to me.
My favorite like bit was Bucky pulling his arm out of the dishwasher.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, it was good.
That was good.
Well, Emma, it's again really great to have you here. You want to shout anything out in perpetuity? Any shout outs or plugs?
Sure. I mean, shout out to anyone who's helping anyone else right now, first of all. Just if you are reaching out to somebody else in the world and doing a kindness, you are doing what the world needs. So shout out to you. And then folks can find me on Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, I'm at Rabbi Emma, so that's really hard to remember. And my website is also my name, rabbiemmagottlieb.com. So find me. If you are in Barrie or Toronto or Southern Ontario, I am doing a lot in the life cycle, interfaith, and end of life space. So if you are looking for some accompaniment, please reach out and I'd love to get to know you.
Thank you for joining us again.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks so much. It was great.
Great to see you all.
All right, shall we outro?
Yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of Torah Smash. Our fiscal sponsor is Jewish Creativity International. Our theme music was created by Sean Fogel. You can check out Sean's bands and studio work at www.thesleepywest.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us wherever you listen. It helps others find us and is an excellent way to support the podcast. We want to hear from you and continue today's nerdy discussion. Go to torahsmash.com to find where to connect with us online, purchase swag from our store, support us with a donation, find previous episodes, and more. And why should vibranium be considered a Jewish metal? Because just like the Jewish people, no matter how much pressure you put on it, it never breaks.
And we get to invite you to the next D&D game.
Yes. Really, the only time I will ever do D&D is with you guys. Like it's
Yeah.
Good time.
I don't
That's coming out.
I don't love that. It's really bad.
That's not even a post-credits joke.
It's definitely coming out.